Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kaalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM. Physics, Chemistry, Earth Science, Biology, Biochemistry, Environmental Science. These are some branches of science. Science is about a whole lot more than that. And to sum it up, we believe that science is the way of helping the brain grow in finding new knowledge and help us defeat our curiosity and how the world develops and works today. Science. This is your class, and this is science. And now, here is your host for the day.
Okay, a blessed afternoon to all our viewers and listeners, especially to our grade 7 learners. Happy New Year to each and everyone! Welcome to our class for the second quarter, Shift 2 in Science 7.
Yes, Ma'am Donna. Before we start our session, I just want to greet our Chief Education Supervisor and Officer in Charge, Dr. Rodrigo G. Pascua, and also our Assistant Principal, Ma'am Ruby R. Guillermo, to all head teachers, teaching and non-teaching personnel, a blessed afternoon to everyone. So, Ma'am Bell, what do we expect to our discussion this afternoon?
Yes, Ma'am Tere. So after our live discussion, we are expecting that our students should be able to differentiate magnification from resolution, determine the parts and functions of the compound microscope, and master the proper handling of compound microscope.
Wow, it's so interesting, Ma'am Bella. So to all our viewers and listeners, hold on until the end of our session.
Yes, it's Scientific time!
Dance Radio, silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio is amazing.
Physics, Chemistry, Earth Science, Biology, Biochemistry, Environmental Science. These are some branches of science. Science is about a whole lot more than that. And to sum it up, we believe that science is a way of helping the brain grow in finding new knowledge and help us defeat our curiosity of how the world develops and works today. Science, science, science. This is your class, and this is science.
A wonderful day to our listeners, especially to our grade 7 learners. I am teacher Ryufei B. Magaway, your radio teacher in science. It's nice to be with you for the first episode of Acquiring New Knowledge in Science 7. It's really a wonderful day because we have our first lesson of Quarter 2.
Wow!
Be sure to have with you your learning activity sheets titled Parts and Functions of the Microscope, your pen and paper for taking down notes. So sit back, relax, and get started. From the previous lesson, we discussed about solutions. What have you learned about this topic?
We've learned about the two components of solution, which are solute and solvent, ma'am.
Correct. Will you differentiate solute from solvent?
A solvent is a component of a solution which dissolves the other component in itself. It constitutes the larger component of the solution, while solute is the component of the solution which dissolves in the solvent. It has the lesser component of the solution, ma'am.
That's right. Any more?
We also learned about saturated and unsaturated solutions, ma'am.
You are right. Will you differentiate saturated from unsaturated solution?
Saturated solution contains the maximum amount of solute dissolved in a given amount of solvent, while unsaturated solution contains less amount of solute in a given amount of solvent, ma'am.
Very good. It seems that you really understood the last lesson for the first quarter. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to achieve the following objectives. Number 1, identify the parts of a compound microscope. And number 2, tell the function of each part. The second quarter is focused on the branch of science that deals with the study of life known as biology.
Wow!
Therefore, the use of the microscope as a tool in the study of very small organisms or microorganisms and very detailed parts of living things is part of biological process of life. Soil is a mixture, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is composed of different materials like sediments and dust.
You're right, my dear. There are particles which can be very small and we can only identify them by using magnifying glass. This will make them appear bigger. We can also make use of the microscope to magnify very small organisms.
Wow! Wow!
What do you think is the importance of knowing the parts of a microscope?
It helps us see organisms or objects that are too small to be seen by the naked eye, and it makes small objects look bigger, ma'am.
You are right. The microscope helps us observe the structure or details of minute objects or microorganisms. Will you give an example of tiny objects or organisms that can be seen using the microscope?
Plant and animal cells, ma'am.
Very good. What else?
Microorganisms, ma'am. Example is bacteria.
That's right. Any more?
The different strains of virus such as coronavirus can also be seen using a microscope, ma'am.
Very good. Scientists are using the microscope in understanding the structure of the coronavirus to develop a vaccine for coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19.
Wow!
We call on the science of investigating very tiny organisms and small objects using the microscope as microscopy. And so, to understand how a microscope works, we need to be familiar with two terms: magnification and resolution. Now, what do we mean by the terms magnification and resolution?
Magnification describes how much larger an object appears when viewed, while resolution is the capacity to distinguish small gaps between two separate points which human cannot distinguish, ma'am.
Correct! Resolution is used to see finer details of an object. If we want to see it better, what should we do with the microscope?
We can increase its magnification, ma'am.
Very good! As we increase its magnification, what happens to the structure of the object?
The structure looks bigger, ma'am.
Correct! What do we call this function of the microscope?
It is called magnification or the magnifying power of the microscope, ma'am.
Absolutely! Now, what do we call the second function of the microscope?
The second function of the microscope is the resolution or resolving power, ma'am.
That's right! There are different types of microscopes. But in our lesson, we are going to focus on a compound microscope. What is a compound microscope?
A compound microscope is an optical microscope that uses visible light to form an image, ma'am. It also uses glass lenses to magnify and resolve images, ma'am.
Very good! It is called a compound microscope because it uses two or more double convex lenses to magnify the object.
Wow!
Where can we find these two lenses?
These two lenses can be found on the eyepiece and the objectives of the microscope, ma'am.
Correct! A compound microscope comprises of three major parts based on their functions. What are these?
The three major parts are magnifying, illuminating, and mechanical parts, ma'am.
Very good! Let us first discuss the magnifying parts of a compound microscope. The magnifying parts of the microscope make the specimen looks bigger. The specimen is the object or part of the object or an organism that we study or examine under the microscope. What is the first magnifying part of the microscope?
The first magnifying part of the microscope is the eyepiece, ma'am.
Correct! The eyepiece is also known as the ocular lens. These are the lenses located at the top of the microscope. What is the function of the eyepiece or ocular lens?
This is where the viewer looks and see the magnified image of the specimen, ma'am.
Very good! Aside from that, the eyepiece lens also magnifies the image of the object. What is the standard magnification of a compound microscope?
It has standard magnifications of 5 times, 10 times, and 30 times, ma'am.
Precisely! What is the second magnifying part of the microscope?
The second magnifying part of the microscope is the objective lenses, ma'am. Its main function is to magnify the specimen under observation.
Very good! Most schools have light microscope with 3 objectives. Others have 4. What are the typical objective lenses of the microscope?
The typical objective lenses of the microscope are the low power objective, high power objective, and oil immersion objective, ma'am.
You are right! What are the functions of the 3 objectives?
The low power objective has a magnification power of 10 times and it is used to see the general outline of the specimen. The high-power objective has a magnification power of 40 times and it is used to view structures from a larger perspective, ma'am. And the oil immersion objective has a magnification power of 100 times and it is usually the longest objective, ma'am.
Very good! What else?
The oil immersion objective is used to view bacteria, very small protists, and fungi, ma'am.
Absolutely! Oil immersion objective requires also the use of special oil. We discuss more about the parts and functions of the microscope after a short reminder.
Science Trivia. Science Trivia. Science Trivia.
Uy, Pedro! Nagpabakuna ka na ba?
Oo naman, Petra. Bakunado na yata to. Dapat ang bawat isa ay mahikayat ng magpabakuna. Bata, matanda, tara na!
Tama ka dyan, Pedro. Kung may bakuna, siguradong protektado tayo laban sa virus. Kaya magpapavaksin na rin ako.
Tandaan, magpabakuna, siguradong protektado ka.
Isang paalala mula sa Doña Aurora National High School at ng himpilang ito.
It's Science Time!
You're listening to Teacher Rio.
I am back. Let us now proceed to the illuminating parts of the microscope. The word illuminate means to give light. So, what is the function of the illuminating parts of the microscope?
The illuminating parts of the microscope supply and regulate light towards the specimen, and the first illuminating part of the microscope is the mirror, ma'am. Its function is to reflect light from an external light source through the bottom of the stage, which illuminates the specimen.
Very good! What can be the light source of the microscope?
The light source can be in the form of natural light, just like the light from the sun, and an artificial light from a lamp or bulb, ma'am.
That's right! In other microscopes, the illuminator is used instead of a mirror. It captures light from an external source of a low voltage of about 100 volts. In short, it uses electricity. What is the second illuminating part of the microscope?
The second illuminating part of the microscope is the diaphragm, ma'am. It is located under the stage, and this part controls the amount of light that reaches the specimen, ma'am.
Absolutely! The diaphragm provides enough light in viewing the specimen. Why is condenser part located under the stage?
Because it collects and focuses the light from the mirror to the specimen, ma'am.
Very good! This time, let's explore the mechanical parts of the microscope. Why mechanical?
It is because the mechanical parts are used to support and to adjust the different parts of the microscope, ma'am. The first mechanical part of the microscope is the body tube or draw tube. The body tube or draw tube holds the eyepiece lens and connects them to the objective lenses, ma'am.
Correct! How about the second mechanical part of the microscope?
The second mechanical part is the revolving nosepiece, ma'am. The main function of the revolving nosepiece holds the different objective lenses and facilitates the changing of objectives.
Very good! The next part is the adjusting knobs. What do you think is the function of these knobs?
The adjusting knobs are used to focus the microscope, ma'am. There are two types, the bigger adjusting knob and the smaller adjusting knob. The bigger adjusting knob is called the coarse adjusting knob because it moves the body tube and low power lenses closer or farther away from the stage to view the image of the specimen.
Very good! The coarse adjusting knob should only be used with low power objectives because the mechanism of coarse adjustment knob produces a large vertical movement of the stage with only a partial revolution of the knob, while the smaller adjusting knob is called the fine adjustment knob because it is used to bring the specimen into sharp focus to show clearly the detailed parts of the specimen. Any additional idea about the use of the fine adjustment knob?
We should use the fine adjustment knob under the low power objective, or it is used for focusing when using the high power lenses, ma'am.
Correct! The fine adjustment knob moves slower or shorter in terms of distance than the coarse adjustment knob. The third mechanical part of the microscope is the stage. This is the section on which the specimen is placed for viewing. How about a slide? What is its purpose?
The slide is where the specimen is placed for observation, ma'am. If we're going to incline the microscope, the slide's specimen will not fall or slip because we have the stage clips, which hold the specimen slide in place, ma'am.
Great idea! To avoid the disorienting of our glass slide while viewing the specimen under a microscope, we should use the stage clips.
The other mechanical part of the microscope is the rack stop that controls how far the stage should go, preventing the objective lenses from getting too close to the specimen slide, ma'am.
That's right. Another is the base that serves as the support of the whole microscope. The other part of the microscope is the arm. It serves as the handle of the microscope in carrying it. The arm and the base are connected by the inclination joint that allows the user to tilt the microscope for more comfortable viewing, especially when one is in sitting position. Why is tilting the microscope not advisable to liquid specimen?
Tilting the microscope with liquid specimens can cause liquid spill and flow into the metal parts of the microscope, ma'am.
You are right. This can cause rust, which can damage the function of the microscope. Those are the different parts of the microscope and their specific functions. Did you enjoy our discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
That's great! Let us answer one of the additional activities after a short reminder.
Science Trivia. Science Trivia. Science Trivia. COVID-19 has caused loss of lives and economic hardship all over the world. It has changed our habits and the way we live while testing our public health systems and impacting on our livelihoods. With this, the role of environmental health practitioner has never been more vital as we face up to the ongoing challenges this pandemic. Many changes are about to happen for a greener environment, more equal and more stabilized economy. COVID-19 pandemic has resulted numerous impacts on the environment and climate. But amid this crisis, we have a chance to build a better community and environment. Hashtag healthy environment. Hashtag healthy community.
It's science time.
You're listening to Teacher Rio.
We're back! Kindly look at the activity number 2 on page 3 of your learning activity sheets. Please read the directions.
Analyze each statement and write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. We write our answer on a separate sheet of paper.
Let us answer number 1. Kindly read the statement.
The stage is a section on which the specimen is placed for viewing. They have stage clips that hold the specimen slides in place.
Is it true or false?
The answer is true, ma'am. The stage is the section on which the specimen is placed for viewing.
Very good. How about statement number 2? Kindly read.
The eyepiece controls how far the stage should go, preventing the objective lens from getting too close to the specimen slide, which may damage the specimen.
Is the statement true or false?
The statement is incorrect. The answer is false, ma'am.
Why did you say so?
Because the rack stop is the one that controls how far the stage should go, ma'am.
Precisely. How about the third statement? Kindly read it.
Nosepiece holds the objective lenses.
What is the answer?
The answer is true, ma'am. Nosepiece holds the objective lenses.
That's right. Did you get all the correct answers, my dear learners?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Please answer the remaining items of the activities after this episode or in your most convenient time. Let us have a recap, dear learners. What is a microscope?
Microscope is a tool that is used to see organisms that are too small to be seen by the naked eye, ma'am.
Correct. Another?
The microscope makes the small object look bigger, ma'am.
Absolutely. What are the 3 major parts of the microscope?
The 3 major parts of the microscope are magnifying, illuminating, and mechanical parts, ma'am.
Correct. What are the magnifying parts of a microscope?
The magnifying parts of a microscope are eyepiece or ocular lens and objective lenses, ma'am.
Very good. How about the illuminating parts of the microscope?
The illuminating parts of the microscope are the condenser, diaphragm, and mirror, ma'am.
You're right. How about the mechanical parts of the microscope?
The mechanical parts are the body tube or draw tube, revolving nosepiece, adjusting knobs, stage, arm and base, ma'am.
Exactly. Let us see if you really listen attentively. What are the functions of the base and the arm of the microscope?
The base acts as microscope support and carries the microscopic illuminators. Arm is the part connecting the base, the head, and the eyepiece tube to the base of the microscope, ma'am.
That's right. What have you observed about the objective lenses?
Objective lenses are composed of different lenses of different magnification. Each lens has its own magnification power.
Great! Which part connects the eyepiece to the revolving nosepiece with the objectives?
The eyepiece tube connects the eyepiece to the revolving nosepiece, ma'am.
Correct! Now, what is the importance of the microscope in our lives?
It magnifies the micro to make it macro so that we can look at every detail. Microscope has a mirror that illuminates the specimen. It captures the gaps so that we can make adjustments and measures to correct and solve these gaps. Like problems in life, they start from very tiny things. if we do not act on them while still small, they grow big that it will be difficult to solve later.
Very good. What more?
The microscope helps us observe the structure or details of a minute objects or microorganisms, ma'am. Like this time of pandemic, scientists are using digital microscopes in understanding the structure of the coronavirus to develop a vaccine for coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, ma'am.
Precisely. It reflects that you've learned a lot with our discussion.
Wow! Wow!
We're done with the lesson. Thank you for listening, my dear grade 7 learners. Before we end, I would like to acknowledge the teachers behind the School on the Air lesson. Ma'am Donabel T. Rodriguez, our script writer. Ma'am Venus J. Lintao, our language editor. Ma'am Donabel G. Velasco and Ma'am Annabel A. Rodriguez, our content editors. Sir Ryan A. Colcol, our technical specialist. And I am Teacher Riufe B. Magaway, your radio teacher in science. Keep safe and God bless everyone. Stay tuned for the live discussion. Goodbye!
Physics, chemistry, earth science, biology, biochemistry, environmental science. These are some branches of science. Science is about a whole lot more than that. And to sum it up, we believe that science is a way of helping the brain grow in finding new knowledge and help us defeat our curiosity of how the world develops and works today. Science, science, science. This is your class, and this is science.
Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, so Ma'am Donna. So, we have here grade 7 science teacher to further discuss about our topic, which is about microscope. So, kasama natin ngayon si Ma'am Mirna and Sir Hector.
Yes.
Okay, so once again, good afternoon to everyone. So it's me, Sir Hector Del Rosario, the science teacher of grade 7, Bonifacio, Del Pilar, and Jacinto.
Okay. A blessed afternoon, everyone. I am your one of the science 7 teachers, Ma'am Mirna Galingana. So, good afternoon, everyone, especially to our grade 7 learners. Shout out to my grade 7 Rizal and Zamora. I hope you enjoyed listening until the end of our lesson today.
Okay, syempre Ma'am Donna, gusto ko ding batiin ang mga hawak kong grade 7, ang 7 Aguinaldo, 7 Sulaiman, and 7 Mabini. Sana mga anak, ipagpatuloy ninyo ang pakikinig hanggang sa matapos ang live discussion. And after that, after the live discussion, sagutan ang ating RBI validating question. Tapos isend sa amin na mga teachers ninyo.
Yes, tama ka dyan, Ma'am Tere. Hello, hello, hello sa ating mga grade 7, Archimedes, Galileo, and 7 Newton. Gising pa ba kayo? Ayan, mukhang natutulog yata ang mga grade 7 natin ngayon. Okay, so mukhang ready na ang ating mga learners, Ma'am Tere.
Okay, yes, Ma'am Donna. So I think our learners are now ready. But before we will start our discussion, let us have a simple game. So ano itong game natin, Ma'am Donna?
Magpapalaro si Ma'am. Ano kaya yan?
Okay, so ang title ng game natin ay Fact or Bluff.
Ayan, mukhang familiar naman sa kanila yung larong yan, ano? Fact or bluff.
Yes.
So, anong kailangan nilang gawin? So, just type fact if the statement is correct and bluff if the statement is incorrect. Ano?
Okay.
So, i-type lang ang inyong sagot sa ating chat box. Naka-ready ba yung ano natin, ma'am? Okay, yan. Okay, so mukhang ready na sila.
Okay. So this is the first statement. A microscope makes things bigger. Is it a fact or a bluff? Okay, just type your answer doon sa comment section.
Yes, tignan natin.
Paunahan na lang kayo. I'll repeat the first statement. A microscope makes things bigger. Is it a fact or a bluff?
Ayan. Mukhang mahina yung ating signal.
Bakit? Walang pumapasok, ma'am.
Hindi pumapasok. Wala. Oh, nag-ano. Okay, so ano ba ang sagot natin dyan, Sir Hector?
Okay, the correct answer is fact.
Okay, fact. Bakit? Because the statement is correct. A microscope make things bigger. Okay, number 2.
Okay, number 2 statement. A compound microscope can have one lens. Is it a fact or a bluff?
Ulitin natin yung statement. A microscope or a compound microscope can have one lens. Is it a bluff or a fact?
Okay, so ilan ba ang lens ng compound microscope?
Ayan. Ano ang sagot, Mami Mirna?
Okay, the correct answer is a bluff. Kasi hindi lang naman isa ang lens ng ating compound microscope. Marami.
Yes. Correct ka dyan, ma'am. Okay, number 3. A compound microscope magnifies more than a simple microscope does. Again, a compound microscope magnifies more than a simple microscope does. Is it a fact or a bluff? Ano ang sagot natin dito sa number 3? It is a bluff. Oh.
Okay, for the fourth statement, a simple microscope has more than 2 lenses. Is it a fact or a bluff? I'll repeat. A simple microscope has more than 2 lenses. Is it a fact or a bluff?
Okay, what is
Okay,
the
so
answer?
what is the answer?
Okay, the correct answer is
Bluff. Ayan.
Okay, so last statement. Both simple and compound microscopes magnify objects. Okay, so ano ito mga learners? Is it a fact or a bluff?
Ulitin natin yung statement. Both simple and compound microscopes magnify objects. Ano kaya ang sagot dyan, Ma'am Tere?
Okay, so the correct answer, may nag-answer ba, Ma'am Donna, dyan sa...
Wala. Naglalag tayo eh. Mahina yung signal.
Wala.
Okay, the answer is...
Fact.
Ayan. Galing-galing naman natin.
Wala.
Okay. So, I think yung mga learners natin ay excited to learn more about microscope. So, Sir Hector, ready ka na ba?
yes, ma'am. Ready.
Okay,
Para bang
ready na.
nasa classroom lang tayo, no? Sagot mo, ay tanong ko, sagot mo.
Sagot mo, tanong mo.
Okay. Sir Hector?
Okay, yes, Ma'am Bell. So let us have the history of the microscope by watching this video. So we have a short video about the history of a microscope.
Yan.
Asan na? Ayan na ba? Mga microorganisms na ba yan?
Okay, mukhang nag-ano din.
Naglalag din?
Ayan. Yes.
So, nakaka-encounter tayo ngayon ng difficulty sa ating pag-e-air.
Okay, sige. Dahil ayaw din. Okay, ano ba yung tungkol dyan sa history of the microscope? Sir Ryan, yung ano natin, next slide. Ayan. So, story map of the microscope. Let us have the history of the microscope by having this short timeline. Ma'am Mirna?
So, the first century, Romans glass lens.
Yes, correct. During the first century, yung mga Romans, gumamit sila ng glass lens. Yan ang unang naging microscope noong panahon ng first century. Okay, after that, after using the glass lens,
In 1590, Zacharias Janssen and Hans compound microscope.
okay, yes.
Na-discover.
Oo, yun yung ginawa nila. Si Zacharias and Hans Janssen, magkapatid yata yan eh. So, they created the first compound microscope.
In 1632 to 1723, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, simple microscope naman ang kanyang na-discover. That's why siya ay tinawag na father of microscopy.
Yes. And then followed by
Robert Hooke, a slice of cork cells.
Yes, si Robert Hooke naman yung nag-observe ng cork cell.
Yes.
Kumuha siya alam niyo yung cork cell, yung sa takip ng wine. Kumuha siya ng slice noon and then in-observe niya under the microscope and then nakita niya parang there are small rooms. And then doon na nag-umpisa yung pag-aaral tungkol sa cell. Ayan. So, pasensya na hindi yung natin. Okay. Yes. Okay, so
that is now the history of the microscope.
Yes.
Hindi lang nga, sayang nga at hindi nila nakita.
Oo nga eh.
Okay. So, hindi nag-play yung video.
Yes.
Okay.
Hindi nakasama ang ating net.
Okay, so to understand how microscope works, we need to be familiar with two terms. So ano itong mga terms na ito? So kailangan maging familiar tayo sa term na magnification and resolution. Okay, Ma'am Donna, what do you mean by magnification and resolution?
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Tere. So when we say magnification, it describes how much larger an object appears when viewed. So let us observe the structure of an onion cell. Balik natin dun sa dati, sir. Structure of an onion cell. Yan. So, we can see on the picture an onion cell pointed in a red arrow. So what can you observe, Ma'am Mirna, dyan sa picture natin? Yung naituturo or tinuturo nung arrow.
Yung arrow, okay. Apat na tong mata ko, Ma'am Donna, naka-eyeglass pa ako.
Yes.
Pero ang nakikita ko dyan ay napakaliit.
Oo, napakaliit.
So, it is so small, Ma'am Bell. So, can we make it larger?
Okay, so if we want to see it better, ma'am, so we need to increase its magnification para mapalaki natin siya. So if we're going to increase its magnification, what will happen to the structure of an onion cell? Next slide. Ano mangyayari pag
Okay,
in-increase
so
natin
if we were going
magnification?
to increase its magnification, the structure looks bigger, ma'am.
Ayan, yan na yung nasa second picture.
Yes, so...
Naging malaki na siya, Ma'am Tere, ano?
Yes, Ma'am
Kanina
Donna.
parang tuldok lang. Ayan.
Okay, so ayan yung tinatawag natin na magnification, or
yes.
magnifying
Power.
Okay. So, on the other hand, resolution or the resolving power, it is the capacity of a microscope to distinguish small gaps between two separate points which human cannot distinguish. And it is used to see finer details of an object.
Yes.
Okay, so Sir Ryan, kindly move to the next slide. So let us compare the two pictures. Okay, which picture shows a finer detail of a plant cell? Okay, picture A or picture B?
Okay, so kung titignan natin yung picture, it's picture B, sir.
Okay, correct, Ma'am Tere. It's picture B. This means that picture A has a lower resolution and picture B has a high resolution because more details of the plant cell are visible. So, based from that, nakikita natin ng malinaw yung other parts ng picture B.
Yes, yung plant cell. Yes. So, that is the difference of magnification and resolution. Nakuha nyo ba yon, learners?
Oo, so napakasimple lang. Doon sa
Yes.
magnification, ilang beses ba niyang pinapalaki? Yun
Oo.
lang yun. And then sa kanyang resolution, gaano ba kalinaw?
Oo, gaano siya kalinaw.
Oo, doon yung mga parts niya, yung mga
Yung mga details.
Oo, yun lang, ganun lang kasimple.
Yes. Okay. So there are also different types of microscope, but in our lesson, we're going to focus on the compound microscope. By the way, what is a microscope? Ulitin lang natin kanina sa RBI natin, nabanggit yan, pero ulitin lang natin, ano? So a microscope is a tool that is used to see organisms or objects that are too small to be seen by the naked eye. So the microscope make these small objects looks bigger. May mga organisms din kasi or merong mga bagay sa paligid natin na hindi natin kayang makita. Gamit lang yung mata natin, di ba? So pag gumamit tayo ng microscope, pwede nating ma-observe yun in or the structure of that microorganism. You know?
Okay.
So how microscope works, Sir Hector?
Okay, a microscope has a convex lenses which are curved glass used to make microscopes, glasses, etc. The convex lenses bend light and focus it on one spot. So, we have different parts of a microscope. Ito na yung may tinatawag tayo dito na convex lenses. Okay, convex lenses are curved glass used to make microscopes and glasses or etc. Okay, convex lenses bend light and focus it on one spot. Nabasa natin yan kanina. The next slide. Okay. So, eto na. We have the ocular lens. Okay. The ocular lens magnifies image. We have also the body tube focuses the image. Then we have the objective lens. It gathers light, magnifies, and focuses image inside body tube. Then we have the bending light. The objective at the bottom, convex lenses magnifies and focuses the image inside the body tube, and the ocular convex lens at the top of a microscope magnifies it again.
Ayan.
So, dinodoble niya.
Yes. So, ibig sabihin, yung nakikita natin or yung nakikita under the eyepiece ay mas malinaw pa, di ba? Kasi nagiging doble siya. Meron pala tayong mga different lenses, no, sir? Diyan sa ating microscope.
Oo, meron tayong mga different lenses. And then, these lenses have different magnification.
Yes.
Kakaiba-iba din.
So, How can we determine, sir, the magnification of the microscope?
Okay, to determine the magnification of a microscope, we just simply multiply the magnification of the ocular lens by the magnification of the objective lens. For example,
Sir, pakita nga natin yung sinasabi nating ocular lens dyan sa microscope.
okay, ocular lens.
Yung eyepiece.
Okay. Ito.
Ayan.
Nakikita ba natin?
Dumikit na.
Okay. So, ito yun. Ocular lens.
Merong nakalagay na number.
Ang magnification niya is 10 times. Okay.
Yes.
So, nasabi na natin kanina, yung magnification, ayun yung ilang beses niyang pinapalaki ang image ng isang object. Okay. Nakalagay siya rito sa top.
So, yan yung ocular lens.
Ocular
that is
lens.
10
And then,
times.
we have also the objective
lens.
lenses. Okay. Ito naman siya. Ito sa baba. Ayan. Yung nasa picture. Yan yun. Okay. Dito naman. Dito is ito. Ito mga to.
Ayan. Yung objective lenses. Okay.
Objective lenses. Dito sa ating sample na microscope, meron tayo ditong 4 na objective lenses. Okay. With different sizes. Okay. Pag different sizes sila, automatic mayroon din silang different magnification.
Yes.
Okay.
So, paano natin makukuha yung magnification ng ating microscope, Sir Hector?
Okay. To get the total magnification of the microscope, okay, we just simply multiply the
ocular lens. So,
with
10
that
times
of
yan,
the-
sir, no? 10
oo,
times.
with that of the objective lens. For example, dito sa sample natin,
10
ang
times.
magnification dito is 10. Okay, 10 times. And then, example, dito sa baba, yung 40.
Oo, 40
Okay,
times.
40 times. So, we just simply multiply 10 times 40. Okay, dito, the product is 400.
400.
So, that 400 is the total magnification of the image. So, yun na yun. So, 400 times niyang pinalaki yung image.
Yung image. Galing ng microscope, no?
Sana lahat pwedeng palakihin ng microscope.
Aray ko.
Malaki na yung
Ryan, nasaktan ka?
Okay, that's right, Sir Hector. So let us show the different parts of the compound microscope. I think our learners are now excited to learn more about the microscope. So let's get started. So let's start with the illuminating parts.
Okay. Under illuminating parts, we have the mirror.
Mirror. Pakita nga natin,
Sana yung
Sir
mirror,
Hector.
Sir Hector. Yan.
Yan, mirror.
Mirror.
Anong function ng mirror natin?
Okay,
Okay, so the function of the mirror of the microscope, it reflects light to the lens of the microscope. Now, we have 2 types of mirror in a simple compound microscope. One is the plane mirror.
Okay, so this one.
Ayan,
Ano ba ang gamit ng plane mirror? We use this to well-lighted area.
Kapag
Okay.
sagana
Sapat.
yung light natin.
Yes, kapag sapat yung liwanag.
Sagana.
Okay, and then we have the concave mirror.
Yung meron siyang parang butas.
Saan yung
parang cave.
concave?
Ito yung
Paloob.
concave.
Parang dun sa
Ito yung concave
inside
mirror, yung
part of a
nakikita nyo yan.
spoon.
Okay, so ang gamit ng concave mirror is used to limited source of light.
Oh, kapag
medyo madilim
o
sa
makulimlim.
lugar, yes.
Yung ganun
Pag
palang
medyo
gamit.
madilim o makulimlim sa lugar kung saan ka nag-observe, gamitin ang concave mirror.
So, ma'am, dun sa pagkakasabi mo, ang plane mirror ginagamit sa maliwanag na area.
Sapat.
Oo, pag may sapat na source of light.
Light, yes,
Kasi
sir.
gumagamit tayo ng light microscope, ma'am, ano.
Okay.
And then kapag naman sa medyo madilim o limited yung light natin, light source natin, doon nagamit natin yung
Concave mirror.
Ano ba yung pwede nating maging light source, Ma'am Mir?
Ano daw yung pwede nating maging source of light? Pwede yung bumbilya, ma'am.
Yes, pwede.
Yung lamp.
Pwede rin yung sunlight.
Sunlight.
Pero indirect.
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 Hindi pwedeng direct.
Pwede ko bang ma'am, dalhin yan sa labas, tapos itutok ko siya sa araw?
Hindi pwede, ma'am.
Hindi pwede.
Kasi masisira ang
mata.
Mata natin.
Yes, correct, tama. Kasi meron yung time noon, dinala nung bata doon sa kailangan daw niya ng matinding sikat ng araw para makita yung
Kaya siya
specimen. Ayun. Wag ninyong gagawin yun, learners, ha? Masisira yung mata nyo. Ayan. Okay, another part is the diaphragm. So, the diaphragm controls the amount of light on the slide or specimen. So, that is the function of the diaphragm. Saan yung diaphragm natin, sir?
Okay, ang
sa microscope?
Ito, nasa baba ng stage natin.
Nasa ilalim.
Meron dyan yung nagsasara bukas. Meron yung naglo-close open dyan.
Anong tawag dyan, sir?
Yan yung tinatawag nating diaphragm niya. It regulates the amount of sunlight that enters the microscope.
Yes.
Okay, ito rin yung nakakatulong para hindi ma-injury yung ating mata.
Okay, next major part is the magnifying parts. So we have the eyepiece, or we can call that as ocular lens.
Okay, ito kanina yung binigay nating sample kanina.
Okay, ano ba ang function ng eyepiece? So it is where you look through to view the object placed on the stage.
Okay. So next is the objective lenses. Kung mapapansin nyo, we have here 3 types of objective lenses. Pero lahat sila ay used to enlarge the image of the specimen. Lahat sila. Magkakaiba nga lang sila ng magnification. So we have here the lowest. Yung lowest ay mayroong magnification na 4 times.
4 times.
And that lens is what we call the scanning lens.
Scanning.
Then second, okay, ang color code pala ng scanning lens is red.
Red.
Okay, color coded din kasi sila. Then next to that is the low power objective. Okay, ang kanyang magnification is 10 times and coded siya ng yellow. Okay, yellow siya. Yellow band. Then next to that is we have the high power objective. Ang kanyang magnification is 40 times at ang kanyang color code ay blue. Then we have the last one, objective lens, is yung oil immersion na mayroon siyang magnification na 100 times at ang kanyang color code ay white.
Okay.
So,
Ayun, meron din pala siyang color coding.
Okay, next, last major part is the mechanical parts. So the first mechanical part is the base. What is the function of the base? It supports the microscope and also used for carrying the microscope. Okay, so saan ang base?
Ito yung parang horseshoe shape.
Pinakapaa niya.
Ayan yung pinakapaa niya, horseshoe shape.
Bakit horseshoe shape, sir?
Horseshoe shape kasi mas stable yung microscope.
Para hindi siya madaling
hindi siya madaling matumba.
Kaya pala siya horseshoe.
Iba kasi kapag matibay talaga ang pundasyon.
Correct. Hindi siya mabubuwag. Okay, another mechanical part is the stage. So the stage supports the slide or specimen.
Ito yung itong square na kulay black, kung mapapansin nyo. Yan. In-incline ko siya para mapansin nyo yung stage. Ito.
Ayan.
Okay.
So dyan natin nilalagay yung i-observe natin na specimen, sir, no?
Oo, yan. Pero dapat yung specimen na i-observe natin ay nakalagay siya sa glass slide.
Ito yung glass slide siya.
Ito yung glass slide. Ayan. Ito yung glass slide.
Ayun.
Parang invisible siya, no? Kasi glass nga siya.
Glass,
Okay, another mechanical part is the stage clip.
Okay, so stage clip, ito yung stage clip niya. Ito.
Dalawa.
Para saan yan, ma'am?
Okay. So, ang gamit niyan,
yung nakikita nyo, yan yung stage.
So these two clips hold the slide or specimen in place on the stage.
Okay, for example, this is our specimen. Specimen nga pala ang tawag natin dito sa inoobserbahan natin na hindi image. Even though image yung nakikita natin doon, pero actually specimen ang tawag natin dito. Ito yan. And then, we can manipulate or we can focus the specimen on the stage by simply using different mechanism. Ito yon, ito, na pwedeng pang-adjust natin. Itong mga parang thread niya dito. Okay, these are the mechanism used to focus or align the specimen. Okay, dito sa ating microscope. Yan.
Okay, so we also have the revolving nosepiece.
Okay, revolving nosepiece, ito yon. Nagre-revolve siya.
Yes.
Pero hindi siya nose shape.
Okay, so what is the function of
Umiikot
the
siya.
revolving nosepiece? It holds the objective lenses and can be turned to increase the magnification.
Kung saan natin ikinakabit yung mga objective lenses, yun yung revolving nosepiece.
Yes.
So kung gusto mong palitan yung gagamitin mong objective lens, iikot mo lang yun, sir.
Oo, iikot mo lang siya. Okay. Pag nakarinig ka na ng click sound, ibig sabihin,
click,
properly aligned na yung objective
lens
na gusto mong gamitin. So, wait for the click sound. Pag wala pa yung click sound, huwag ka munang hihinto.
At saka sir, bago nila galawin yung revolving nosepiece, see to it na hindi nakadikit itong mga objectives dito.
Yes,
pwede
Sa may glassy slide kasi masisira.
May tendency kasi na mabasag yung ating glassy slide. Masira yung ating
So
specimen.
dapat meron siyang proper distancing.
Mamaya,
Pati
later
pala yung
on,
may social distancing.
later on, we will
Social
discuss the
distancing.
proper way on how to use and manipulate the microscope.
Okay, we also have the arm. So the arm is the frame to which the base, body, and stage are attached. So asan yung arm dyan, sir?
So ang arm niya, ito, yung parang C-shape dito.
C-shape naman.
Ayan. Arm. Dito usually hinahawakan ang microscope. Then, together with your other arm at the base.
Yes.
Sinusupport natin yung isang arm natin.
Para protektado siya.
Oo. Hindi lang yung girlfriend mo, boyfriend mo, pinoprotektahan mo, maging din ang microscope.
Siyempre
Yes.
Sana all.
Okay, another is the fine adjustment knob.
Okay, ang fine adjustment knob ay ito. Ito. This is the fine adjustment knob. If you have noticed, we have two types of knobs. Itong nasa taas at saka ito. So this is the fine adjustment knob.
Okay. So this knob moves the stage slightly to sharpen the image for precision focusing.
Okay. So na-mention naman for precision focusing. So what is the proper way? When do we use the fine adjustment knob? Kailan natin gagamitin yan? So meron siyang combination, proper combination ang kailangan natin dito kasi if we are using the high objective lens and the oil immersion lens, ang gagamitin natin is yung fine adjustment knob. Kasi when we use those lenses, yung nabanggit ko kanina, ang tinitignan na natin ay yung fine detail ng specimen. So yung mga detalye na ang tinitingnan natin. In that case, kailangan na lang natin na gamitin yung fine adjustment knob. Kasi pag iniikot mo yan, yung movement niya ay mabagal din. Kasi mahirap i-focus. Kapag kasi ginamit natin tong malaki, yung coarse adjustment knob, yung konting ikot mo lang ay malaking changes doon sa image.
So kailan natin gagamitin, sir, yung coarse adjustment knob? Kapag
ang coarse adjustment knob ay ginagamit natin kapag ginagamit natin yung mga lenses na
low power.
Yung low power at saka yung scanning.
Scanning.
So ang scanning kasi ginagamit natin yan kapag gusto natin makita yung overview, yung general overview ng specimen, yung kabuuan. Okay. And then yun naman kasing yung low, yung mas detalye doon. Okay. But if you will going to go deeper to its parts, kailangan na nating i-switch yan sa high power.
Yes.
Or low power. Or oil immersion. Depende yan sa gusto nating gawin. Okay.
Okay. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na rock stop, di ba, sir? Yung rock stop, yung parang metal dyan sa ilalim.
Ay, oo. Ito. Mahirap kasing mapansin ito kasi nandito siya sa...
So, anong function ng rock stop?
Okay. So, ano nga ba, Ma'am Donna, ang function ng rock stop?
Okay, yung rock stop, yan yung nagsisilbing parang sign or yun yung signage kung saan makikita mo dyan yung distansya ng objective lens dun sa iyong specimen. Para hindi siya masyadong bumangga dun sa specimen mo at hindi mabasag yung glasses slide.
Parang guide mo yan, Ma'am.
Yes, parang guide mo siya.
Na, didikit muna yan bago pa man dumikit yung objective lens mo doon sa specimen.
Correct.
Yun yun. Para bang gauge niya na, tigil ka na kasi pag bumaba ka pa,
mababasag na. Oo.
Okay.
Meron din tayong tinatawag na inclination joint.
Oo, inclination joint.
Yung inclination joint kung saan yan yung ginagamit natin para ma-inclined natin yung ating microscope.
Yan, okay. Yan. Yan siya nagmo-move.
Yes, parang pinaka niya.
Yan. Kumbaga sa siso, ito yung nandun sa gitna.
Oo.
Sa siso.
Okay, so ang ganda ng discussion natin, Ganda sana kung meron pa yung mga estudyante natin na nagpa-participate. Okay, so what are the three major parts of the microscope, Ma'am Mirna? We have?
Okay, the three major parts of the microscope, we have the illuminating parts, magnifying parts, and the mechanical parts.
Yan. Tapos na tayo sa parts and functions. Ngayon, tingin ko ready na si Sir Hector. Sir Hector ulit. To show us the proper way of using the microscope in 10 steps.
Okay.
10 steps lang tayo, sir.
Ano ba yung tingnan ko
Okay, the first step.
Ano ba yung first dyan, Ma'am? Pakibasa.
First step muna tayo. So, kunwari nasa box pa yan. Kasi may box yan, So, i-open mo yan. Kukunin mo yung microscope. Paano mo siya i-carry? Number 1, to carry the microscope. To carry the microscope, grasp the arm with one hand.
And
Hold the base with the other hand. Yan.
So, nakasupport yung isang kamay dito sa base. Then, yung isa ay nakahawak sa arm ng microscope.
Yes. Paano pagkaliwete ako, sir?
Pagkaliwete ka, Ma'am, okay. Kung ano yung sanay mong kamay, kasi ito yung ginagawa ko, yun yung nandoon sa pinakailalim.
Para protektado
Ako, right-handed ako, so yung right ko dito sa ilalim kasi mas kailangan ng support dito sa ilalim. Ito kasi sa kaliwa, pang-balance ko lang siya. Okay, so pag left-handed ka, yung left naman ang nandito sa base dito. Okay, yun yung ginagawa ko.
Correct. Okay, number 2. So, kapag mag-observe na tayo ng specimen, anong kailangan natin gawin, sir?
Okay, pag mag-observe tayo ng specimen, make it sure na meron na yung specimen doon sa doon nakalagay na.
Place the slide on the stage.
Okay.
May specimen ka ba dyan, sir?
Nandyan na yung specimen. And then, center the specimen over the small opening on the stage. So, yun yung small opening na nakikita natin. Then, make it sure na yung diaphragm ay nakabukas baka naman mamaya walang dumadaan na ilaw. And then, dapat din yung source of light mo ay meron na rin.
Makikita naman yun sa opening, sir?
Oo, makikita mo. Kapag nakakakita ka ng maliwanag dito sa opening niya, ibig sabihin, may light na doon.
Okay. So, another one is secure the slide with the stage clips.
Okay, ito yung stage clip. Make it sure na naiipit niya yung slide. Okay. So, maski i-tilt natin yan, hindi gumagalaw yung slide.
Okay. Another one is while looking at the stage from the side, turn the coarse focus knob or coarse adjustment knob to lower the body tube.
Okay. So, eto. Gagamitin natin yung law.
So, kailangan nakatingin ka sa...
Dapat nakatingin ka dito sa side niya para makita mo
yung pagbaba.
Oo, para makita mo kung didikit na ba siya o hindi pa. Yan.
Okay.
Huwag kang titingin na nakasilip dito sa eyepiece. Kasi hindi mo makikita yung distance kung maluwang pa o malayo pa o malapit na yung natin, yung specimen natin.
Okay, another one. While looking through the eyepiece, yan na, i-set up na natin, no? So, while looking through the eyepiece, carefully move the coarse focus knob until the specimen comes into view.
Okay, so coarse focus knob until the specimen can be viewed. Yan, focusing na yon.
Yes, focusing na tayo.
So, eto, meron na tayo dito na nakafocus na, no? Ito yun, nakafocus na. Meron ba tayong image dito?
Meron yata, sir.
Tingnan nga natin kung makikita natin.
Ayan, yan na yung naka-ready na ano natin. Ano bang makikita dyan, Sir Raya?
Yan,
Ayun, ang ganda.
Yan yung mga nakikita natin under the microscope.
Finer details na siya. Ano yung specimen natin, sir?
Lily flower.
Lily
so,
flower.
Magnification niya is nasa low power lang siya. So, ang magnification niya is 10 times doon sa objective niya. At dito naman sa kanyang ocular lens ay 10. Okay, so ang total na magnification niya ay 400. Yan yun. So napakaganda, napakalinaw. 15 times mo.
Ayan, so nakaset na siya.
So next.
So paano naman, sir, kapag gusto mong i-observe yung specimen under high power objective? Yan sa isang sir.
Okay, kung isu-switch natin under high power objectives, yun, di ba sabi natin kanina, ang code nun is, yung color code niya is yung blue?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then in this case, pag nag-switch ka kasi na ganyan, ang gusto mo nang tignan ay yung details, hindi na yung overview niya. In this case, ang gagamitin mo na lang is yung fine. So, sisilipin na lang natin ulit.
Yan, kailangan
kailangan ito, medyo konting-konting adjustment na lang yan. Okay, so, yan yun, konting adjustment. Yan. Kasi konting ikot mo lang dito.
Makikita na agad.
Okay, so, ganun lang yun, ma'am.
So, ibig sabihin, we're going to use the fine focus knob until the specimen comes into the focus.
Kung gusto mo kung clear na, yung gusto mong makita ang part niya, yun na yun.
Okay, ang galing naman ni Sir Hector. Okay, next. Next naman na tayo.
Okay, next.
So, how are we going to take care our microscope? Siyempre, kailangan natin alagaan yan para magtagal, di ba?
Okay, yes, Ma'am Donna. So, the first thing that we should do is we need to clean with a soft cloth and tissue. Okay, so before we will store the microscope, after using, so kailangang linisan natin. Anong panlilinis natin?
Soft
cloth
and
tissue dapat.
Hindi pwedeng kung ano-anong tissue lang, no? Magagasgas yung lens.
Yes, Ma'am Donna.
Another?
Okay, so another. Make sure it is in a flat surface. So pag ginagamit natin, it should be in a flat surface.
Okay. And the other one is carry it with two hands, one on the arm and the other is on the base. Parang yung pinakita ni Sir Hector kanina.
Pinakita na ni Sir kanina.
Ayan, meron din tayo dyan yung coronavirus under the microscope. Ganyan palang itsura niya, no? Ang dami niyang spikes. Magkaiba ang
Stain lang yun.
Stain. Strain. Meron din tayo kanina yung inobserve natin kanina sa yan, yung liver fluke. Yan yung itsura niya kanina sa microscope. Pinicturan niya ni Sir Ryan.
Parang mga dahon lang, yung vein ng dahon. Parang
yes. Ganun. Okay. So, there are also rules of using a microscope. Parang yung taking care din to, Ma'am Mirna, no?
Okay,
yung
so
mga yun,
the
ma'am?
rules of using a microscope, always carry with 2 hands. O, dinemo ni Sir Hector kanina yan. Okay, then, only use lens paper for cleaning. Sabi ni Ma'am Teresa kanina na huwag gumamit ng mga
Kung ano nung tela.
kung ano-anong tela, lalo na yung mga magagaspa.
Yes, so dapat soft cloth.
Yes, saka dapat yung lens paper lang ang dapat nilang gamitin. Then, do not force knobs. Huwag pilitin na paikutin yung mga knobs,
Mga knobs
dyan.
niya. Adjustment
Okay?
knobs.
Then, always store covered
Bakit kailangan naka-cover, ma'am?
para hindi dapuan ng dust yung mga lenses.
Kasi mahirap yung pag-i-clean.
Yes. And then, be careful of the cords.
Para sa
Yan
electrical
naman,
microscope.
Electric microscope.
Yes. Kasi
Ayan.
kung may isa sa mga cords na nasira, hindi na yan magpa-function.
Ayan.
So, kailangan ingatan natin ang paggamit ng ating microscope.
Madalang lang kasi yung mga school na nabibigyan ng ganyan, ma'am, di ba?
Yes, maswerte
So,
nga
swerte tayo,
meron.
daming dumating.
Oo, at saka medyo may kamahalan din kasi.
Yes, oo. Kaya dapat alagaan natin, ano? Okay, so we also have our final task for our viewers. Sir Hector, ikaw na naman to.
Oo, sige.
So,
Your final
Sir
task.
Hector will use the microscope and let us observe. Ang
Oo,
kailangan
po.
nating i-observe dito ay kung ano ba yung mga or magde-demo siya ng gagawin niya sa microscope and then identify natin kung tama o mali ba
Oo,
yun.
yun lang.
Kung
yun yung-
proper or improper.
Kung
Oo,
proper
yun
o
lang.
improper. Yes.
Okay,
So, sige.
proper ba yung pag-treat doon sa microscope or improper? Okay, first one.
Okay.
Ito.
Ay. Ayun.
Proper ba yan? Yung pagke-carry
That
ng
is for
microscope.
carrying microscope.
Oo. Ano ba yung ginagawa niya? Gumamit si Sir Hector ng isang kamay lang at hawak lang niya yung arm.
Oo.
Tama ba yan, Ma'am Tere?
Okay, so tignan natin, my dear learners. Tama ba yung paghawak ni Sir Hector ng microscope?
Eh ma'am, kaya ko naman
Oo nga,
buhatin,
kaya
ma'am,
niya
oh.
namang hawakan. Hindi naman
Kaya
siya
ko naman,
natutumba.
Oo, kaya ko naman ma'am.
Tama ba yan, ma'am?
Okay, pero my dear learners, the proper way of handling the microscope is it should be
Carrying
carrying
with two hands.
Okay, always two arms. Maski
Yes.
kayang-kaya mong buhatin yan, always pa rin. Dalawang.
Kamay, oo. Isa sa arm at isa sa
base.
Ganyan. Para suportado mo yung microscope.
Maski kayang-kaya mo, maski magaan lang yan.
Yes, tama.
Okay.
O, di ba, Sir Hector, tandaan mo yan ha. Pag kineri mo yung microscope, kailangan dalawang kamay.
Yes, dalawang kamay talaga yan.
Okay, number 2, Sir
Okay.
Hector.
Number 2, dito naman. Okay. Dito naman tayo. Pansinin
Ayan,
nyo
ano?
lang dito sa part na to na gagamitin ko.
Sa objectives.
Sa objectives.
Oo.
Tingnan nyo kung, okay, halimbawa yan. Diba color-coded yan? Alam nyo na yun. Ano ba yung objective na nandoon sa, yung nakaset ngayon? Pansinin nyo, anong kulay yon?
Anong kulay yan, ma'am?
Kulay?
White.
White. So,
White.
ibig sabihin, anong objective yan? Yan yung oil immersion.
Oil immersion. Medyo mahaba, ano, sir?
Oo, yeah, medyo mahaba. Ay, gusto ko kasi yung pinakamahaba para mapansin nyo kaagad. Ano?
Okay.
Ngayon, yun na yung gagamitin ko sa pagpo-focus. Tama ba na yun kaagad ang
Ano yung
gagamitin?
ginamit niya? Hindi man na makita, sir. Medyo yan. Taas
Yan.
mo, Sir Ryan, yan. Ay,
Okay.
ala, sige.
O yan. Ang ginamit ko kaagad na objective ay yung oil immersion.
Yes.
Yung mahaba.
Tapos,
And then, ifo-focus ko na kaagad yung...
coarse adjustment na bang
Oo.
ginamit mo, sir?
Yan. Tama ba? Yung
Tama ba yun? Eh, bumaba naman yung objective lens.
Oo, bumababa naman eh. Oh.
Oo.
Di ba? Nakikita niyo naman, bumababa naman.
Yes. Tama ba yun, Ma'am Mir?
Oo.
Hindi, Ma'am Donna. Sa palagay ko, hindi.
Bakit?
Kasi, kung ang ginamit niyang pag-move ay yung coarse adjustment, di ba sabi niya kanina, kunting galaw mo lang dyan ay
Malaki yung...
diferensya.
Oo.
Yes.
Okay, so dapat ang gagamitin
Ayun.
Is yung
Low
fine.
power objective
And
muna.
then, dito pa, kung mag-i-start ka pa lang na mag-focus, ay hindi dapat yung oil immersion ang gagamitin mo.
Yes, correct.
Mag-i-start ka sa pinaka-lowest magnification
Low
available.
power objective.
In this case, ang pinaka-lowest na magnification ng objective na available ay yung
Scanning. Which
scanning.
is
Scanning. Na mayroon siyang code,
red,
color code na
red ba?
red.
Ayun.
4 times siya.
4 times.
Okay, 4 times
Ayan.
yung magnification niya. Yan, dito ka mag-i-start kung ito yung gagamitin mo para mag-start ka ng focusing. Yan. And then, eto na, tama na yung course mo.
Okay,
Course adjustment.
ayan.
Yan. Okay. And then next.
Meron pa ako nakita kanina, sir.
Ano yun?
Habang ginagamit mo yung course adjustment, nakatingin ka dun sa katabi mo. Tama ba yun?
Oo, yan. Tinitignan ko kasi si ma'am kanina.
Tama ba yun?
Oh.
Bakit? Sir Rector, na-miss mo ako?
Nakita ko kasi ma'am na medyo maliit yung Hindi ko na tinignan yung maliit.
So, kailangan, sir, pag gumamit ka ng course adjustment knob, nakatingin ka sa side ng microscope.
Ng microscope.
Oo, hindi sa side ng katabi mo.
Yan, hindi sa side nakatabi. Sa side ng microscope, yan yung proper.
Para hindi bumangga.
Huwag kang mag-a-adjust ng body tube o yung draw tube. Huwag mong i-adjust ito na mag-start ka na ng focusing na nakatingin ka dito
Sa eyepiece.
Eyepiece. Kasi nga hindi mo makita yung distance doon sa distance ng glasses light mo doon sa kanyang objective lens.
Correct. Ayan.
Baka kasi
dami
madisgrasya.
Natutunan kay Sir Hector.
Next, ano pa?
Meron pa ba, sir? Sir, pwede ko bang tanggalin yung mirror sa ilalim? Tapos, syempre, gusto kong tignan kung maganda ako.
Ay, okay.
Pwede ko bang tanggalin yan?
Natatanggal naman hindi yung mirror.
Pero
hindi advisable natatanggalin
tanggalin.
yung mirror.
Kasi
Even
pwedeng
natatanggal siya.
Pwede siyang mag-loose.
Oo. And then, ito kasi ginagawa pa ng ibang bata kasi which is wrong. Ipasiring that yung ginaganan nila sa mga klase nila, pangsisirap nila.
Tatapat sa
araw.
Yun yung mga mababait nating mga estudyante na minsan pag nakatalikod ka, kaagad may mga nagagawa. So, hindi pwedeng tanggalin ang mirror.
Okay, yan. Ang dami nating natutunan sa tamang paraan ng paggamit ng microscope. Paano naman, sir, kapag tapos mo nang gamitin, ano nang gagawin mo?
Okay, pag tapos na natin gamitin, marami tayong dapat iset. Una, pwede rin. Maski in any order maski alin dyan ang uunahin mo, no? Ayan, yung mirror.
Vertical.
Yan, ang position.
Okay, nakatagilid. Tapos, dito,
tanggalin yung
pwede mong tanggalin
slide
yung mga,
specimen.
Pwede mong tanggalin yan, pwede rin tanggalin to. Palitan mo kasi may cover ito eh.
Oo, tatanggalin na siya.
Palitan mo ng cover niya, ilagay mo doon sa kanyang box. May mga box kasi to. Maski din ang mga to, okay, may mga boxes din. So pwede mong tanggalin yan and then ilagay sa kanilang proper boxes. And then ito, naka-straight forward siya. Straight up, okay, yung ating microscope. And then mayroon siyang tornilyo dito sa
ilalim. Para hindi siya mag-alog-alog.
Para naka-fix siya doon sa kanyang case.
Correct. Ayan.
Slide, sir, kailangan ibalik doon sa
yung
box
glasses
niya.
slide dapat matanggal and then may proper box din ito. So
Tapos
ilagay mo lang lahat doon.
Yung distance ng objective lens sa stage. Dapat tinitignan din natin yun. Ayan.
Okay.
Meron pa ba, sir?
So, ganun lang naman ang yung mga basic.
Yes.
Okay, basic use and basic proper use ng ating microscope.
Correct. Ang galing-galing naman.
I hope na may mga natutunan yung mga bata, no?
Yes, yan. Grabe, siksik-liglig at umaapaw talaga ang ating discussion ngayong hapon. So, yan. Learners, huwag kayong mag-alala dahil kung nagkaroon tayo ng face-to-face, magagamit nyo din yan.
Oo, exciting kaya to.
Yes, correct.
Para bang yung paunahan pang makapag-focus ka.
Oo, yan lagi ang gusto nilang gawin.
Mga bata kasi kapag may parang bago sa kanila, excited nilang gawin.
Oo.
Lalo na kapag silipan ng
specimen.
Focusing, yan.
Okay, so yan. Maraming salamat sa ating mga viewers and listeners, lalo na sa ating mga grade 7 learners. Okay, so Ma'am Teresa?
Okay, yes, Ma'am Bell. So, dahil napaka-aktibo ng mga learners natin,
Yes,
so
very active sila.
Yes, so mabibigyan sila ng mga
Badge.
badge.
Yeah, muling
Okay.
nagbabalik ang ating badge.
Yes. Okay, so ano yung mga badge na matatanggap nila, Ma'am Donna?
Magkakaroon tayo ng active participation badge dun sa mga nagko-comments dun sa ating chat box sa mga tungkol sa ating discussion, and the other one is the attendance badge.
Okay, kaya mga learners, dapat magpa-check na kayo ng attendance sa mga attendance officer ninyo. Pero
Yes.
dapat, Ma'am Donna, natapos.
Dapat natapos nila yung live
At
streaming.
baka makalimutan natin, magbigay din tayo ng active participation badge dun sa mga estudyanteng sumasagot sa ating validating questions.
Yes.
Dun sa ating, Facebook page ba yon?
Yes, Ma'am Donna.
Ayan. So, marami kayong matatanggap ngayong araw dahil New Year. Di ba? Marami na naman kayong matatanggap na badge.
Marami din kaming mga pasabog.
Yes. Pero dapat ay talagang tinapos nila yung ating session na. So yan, abangan muli ang ating mga susunod pang talakayan. Hanggang sa muli, kami ang... kami ang...
Team
Siete. Nakalimutan, nagbakasyon lang eh. It's Science-Erific time! Awan na.
Physics, chemistry, earth science, biology, biochemistry, environmental science. These are some branches of science. Science is about a whole lot more than that. And to sum it up, we believe that science is the way of helping the brain grow in finding new knowledge and help us defeat our curiosity and how the world develops and works today. Science. This is your class, and this is science. And now, here is your host for the day. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan. Ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR FM.